Okay. Yeah, we continue to talk about the Buddha's qualities, physical quality, mental quality, activity qualities. And enlightened physical or the mentally activity is the inconceivable to the benefit for the sentient beings. Like as I said, it's like whoever connected to the low realm sentient beings, and they came to establish to more higher realms, and the higher and realms sentient beings who connected, like a human or the gods, and then it's like they can bring really to become his student. And three type of the student: Shavaka, Pachika Buddha, Bodhisattvas. They bring this kind of levels, and then it's like gradually, or like kind of the sequentially, we say it's like those three disciples, and bring slowly more like kind of enlightenment, the level of the Buddhahood. And then it's like whoever connects to the Buddhas or the follow the Buddhas shows them the path across their respective aspiration, and possess to the establish them in ultimate and the Buddhahood. And also Buddhas like enlightened activities, and there is like kind of the three qualities way, and how it is the benefit for the, it doesn't matter like kind of the low realm or high realm, or it's like three disciples of the Shavaka, Pachika Buddha, Bodhisattvas. Each individual respective, the enlightened activities are like concentrate and all the pervasive and spontaneously. And this kind of the very particularly qualities way, you say it's like constant is like kind of you other word you use permanently. And this constant nature, what does it mean? The activity of the Buddhas. And it is not that the act for the sake of the sentient beings in the past, and it does not to do in the right now, not like this, concentrate naturally, and the like kind of the past, of present, and the futures, like all the times. It's like kind of the, we can use example is the sunlight. Like millions years ago, sunlight like kind of the distinct. If you're the other plant you are near, or depends that you receive hot, cold, is you near, or the yourself is plant itself. Sunlight is there like 1 million ago, maybe it's like sunlight is become hot, or now it's like maybe more cool, or maybe before it's more cool, now it's like kind of the hot. It's maybe not different. Sunlight is sunlight, depends on only the distance. And like this is like kind of a little bit, of course, the stupid kind of example, but Buddha's enlightenment activities, like concentrate means in the past is like Buddha's blessing, power is more strong, more strength than now. Not like this. All the times it's the same. And Buddha's activities can occur in the past, present, futures, any times. That is like there is like kind of no like the specific place, no specific kind of the times. Therefore, we say it's the constant, and also it's like we can't say the pervasive, and a pervasiveness Buddha's activities. His activities is like pervaded the whole of the 10 directions. It's Buddha's activities works only on the eastern, but maybe not western, not at all, eastern north. Or Buddha's activities only in the south, but maybe north, not like this. Wherever there's a relevant, wherever there's a connections, it can to shine Buddha's activities. And there's therefore is like 10 directions, like a 3 timers. There's no kind of the fixated direction. There's no kind of the fixated the timers. This is like spontaneous, automatically pervaded like this. And like this kind of, and all the times pervasively. And then also the regard, there is like a spontaneity. This is also, it's like we have very special qualities ways. We can to say it's like there is the how do you say, it's like a spontaneity qualities are the like spontaneous, and involvement is like the deliberate effort. There's not necessarily like no deliberate effort means it's like kind of now I need to do, or now I am tired, or now it's like a kind of the rest time, or now holiday time. Is not like this you need no necessary automatically. Maybe in you say it's like a concentrate spontaneously Buddha's like a automatically occurred. Maybe Buddha has become tired. Not like this. This is just the Buddha's like enlightened. The one you be enlightenment, your activities, there's no kind of the such deliberated effort, and it's naturally. For example, sun is in the sky, sending luminosity everywhere in the like universal. And then it's but sunlight, sun itself don't need. It's natural, automatic, spontaneous qualities. And like this, therefore, it's like activities is like this. And then it's maybe we can to say this is like how it is the Buddha's enlightened activities. And also it's like how it is the qualities. This already like kind of the we mentioned abstract, but maybe a little bit kind of the repeat again, and the qualities of the Dharmakaya, the qualities of the Rupakaya. Rupakaya means, and sometimes it's like Dharmakaya, Rupakaya means Dharmakaya is become the representative of like kind of the Savavikaya. Savavikaya is unique of the all the 4 kayas. And the Dharmakaya and the Rupakaya means it's like Dharmakaya is like the we can to say the essential nature itself. And in this perspective, the Rupakaya is like more natural expressions, and also it's like pervasive of the compassions. And therefore, like the kind of there's the true qualities. And we would to say is like the Dharmakaya. Yesterday also a little bit I mentioned it to, maybe you need to check this there. But anyway, it's like Dharmakaya qualities is like yesterday with different translations. And the 21 test of the immaculate, like how do you say, is the dharmas. And this one is maybe I asked yesterday you to check the how do you say, it's like in the Mr. Google's, maybe it's very important. And also, yesterday I kind of found in the dictionary, it said 21 categories of the undefiled wisdoms here. And this is, you can to say, sometimes the 21 categories of the uncontaminated wisdom. And also sometimes you can to say it's like 21 tests of immaculate Dharma. This is like the qualities of the Dharmakaya, like a kind of the spontaneous, inherently, like intrinsically, it's like this endowed with the Dharmakayas, like a kind of the 10 strength, 4 fearless, and 18 distinctive qualities that there's so on. Yesterday I like kind of this a little bit to say, but maybe do you have someone's this list? Maybe if you have a list, you can do good. If not, you haven't got a list, I can just send you list in how to say, in Tibet, and I haven't got any translation that I can to send you in the, I think ZP, yes, ZPR. I will send you, and maybe do you have received the message? And but there are a little bit sometimes the different. Maybe it's you can to search. This is like a 21 test of like a kind of the immaculate Dharma. And they say like this, and this is the qualities of the Dharmakayas. And for example, the 37 factor of the Bodhisattva, 4 boundless qualities, and is like a kind of 8 liberations. The 4th one is like 9 the absorption, meditative absorptions, and then it's like 10. The 5th one is like the 10 exhaustions. 6th one is like a kind of I don't know, this sentences that I have a little bit yet I couldn't find to translate, but anyway, there's some lots of us this just translated. And there is a 21 test of the miracle Dharma, and then in a circle divided, I think is like a kind of 188 more circle divide. That's maybe you can to check. This is like a very wonderful qualities of the Dharmakayas qualities. This is like kind of the strength, quality, luminous, and it's like endowment of quality for the Dharmakaya is like this. And then qualities of the Rupakayas. Rupakaya's perspective, like more, I say it's like the comes through the community of the rhythms, like a kind of the finally perfect abandonment qualities, that is Kanker quality of the like enlightened Buddhists, 30 majors and 80 minor marks. There's a 30 major mark and 80 minor marks. This is like extraordinary. This one is like when is Buddha is become enlightenment, when he received this the village ladies rice and milk, and according that, but it's like when he become enlightenment, it's his like the result of the accumulation merit, result of the realization or the abandonment and the obscurations, defilement, then his body is inconceivable. This is like a kind of the Buddhas showing, but example them. Of course, any kind of the Buddhas like enlightened beings. Not necessarily it is like this. And then it's like also this is the physical quality like this, and speech qualities like we call the 60 branches of the Brahmas, melodious voice. It's a very much like kind of the clearly, and also it's like there's nothing kind of lot of etc. So word, and also it's like a so pleasant, eloquent, like this kind of it's like qualities of the speech. And then it's like the you can to say it's like the mind qualities. It is like knowledge, and like an extraordinary kind of the wisdoms, extraordinary love, extraordinary power. And therefore this is like kind of the Buddha's like a kind of the qualities. And the special we can to say is the knowledge qualities are there. Are the there's a kind of the, I told you, wisdom of the suchness, wisdom of the manyness. This is to know all the phenomena of the samsara and the nirvanas, everything, so clearly to see the relative phenomena without any compounding or the confuse them. And this is like kind of the clearly, absolutely in the both sides, samsara and nirvanas. And for example, you can do the suchness, wisdom of the suchness, and fully, utterly, purely realize that the like essential nature. And also the wisdom of the manyness perspective. There's all the natural expressions, the compassion activities conceivable. This everything is nothing mistake. And therefore these two wisdoms, the knowledges is like this. Then this knowledge is a doubt in the omniscient wisdoms. And also like a kind of the, we say, is the love and the perspective. It is like kind of the compassions. Look kind of the naturally, automatically to the sentient beings, day and night. And kind of the through the we can do six period. And this is like very special calculated. We can to divide the day and night. For example, in the morning, in the midday, in the evening. During the day there is a 3. In the night, in the before the like the midnight, and the midnight, in the morning, like before to wake, like a star sunlight came. Therefore this day and 3 like times, 9, 3. This is now sometimes we say the 6 period. All over the 6 periods there is like kind of the love and like kind of compassions works activities. For example, we can to say that during the 3 like part of the days is like works very well, but in the night it doesn't work. And like some is modern machines is like this. Sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't work. Not like this. This is natural. Like we can do example, and the sunlight is like you day or night. This sun itself and sending luminosity. There's no kind of like this time stop, this time is shining out. Not like this. Sunlight automatically all the times. Like this sort of flow, like kind of the you can to say is like everything is received the summons of like kind of the flourish or languishing. Flourishing, languishing means someone's like flourishing, like going up, happy, more and more reaching the enlightened way. Or maybe it's like someone's like languishing to everything is going down. But both in the perspective there is like kind of the works. Absolutely, it's this sort of for example, someone's flourish, become rich, powerful, then Buddha's love, compassion works for them. Someone's language going down, desperated, something is like doesn't work. Buddha's compassion doesn't work. Not like this. Some, I make joke. Sometimes our Western friends say, When you are rich, very much, everybody's healthy, like your friend is your friend. And you have a little problems, maybe something bad things happened, your friend disappeared. Oh, now it's like not good, not go to near this. Not like this. Normally, good friends, you happy times, your friend is your friend. Suffering times, your friend is there, is be ready, help. Like this sort of. It is like Buddha's kind of the love, compassion. It doesn't matter someone's the flourish or doesn't matter someone's languishing. All the time is watching or like there is activity over the sentient beings, like kind of impartially, like we can see the mothers watching over the only her like a single child, like this sort of enlightened compassions like this. And also it is like Buddha's power protect to the sentient beings, and that is like a kind of the whenever there's necessary times, absolutely they never ever to be the like that. There's a kind of to say that Buddhas could never fail to the act when the time is it is ready. When the time is ready, Buddha's like the kind of the activities is never fail or late or like kind of the early. On times, all the times. For example, sometimes it's like says, oh, now we need to like kind of the waiting. Buddha's like a blessing, activity, compassion, love is like kind of maybe not be on timers. Maybe Buddha's like kind of the aeroplanes doesn't work, cars problems, or this morning something not like this, just automatically. For example, sunlight is coming, there is, of course, it's like according to our planet is going around, then it's like there is shadow and light. The light itself, all the time there's a kind of the shining. There's never kind of the fail into the like kind of the when the time was right. Not like this. Never like a sun light fell into on like the act the when the time is right. But it's Buddha's is like kind of the activities, love and compassions never ever fell into the act when the time is right. On correct time is it. Therefore, it's like this. This, for example, all the time by the brain, the Shavaka, Pachika, Buddha, any kind of benefit beings, sentient beings. As it may happen that kind of any situations, and it's necessary much. When the time is really right, there's never like become like kind of lazy, forgetfulness. And for example, I will say this, oh, lazy, this morning I slept, I couldn't do it. Oh, I forgot, very sorry, not like this. This automatically, naturally, like this kind of. And also it's like a kind of the laziness or the how to say, forgetfulness. And also it's like sometimes it's neglect for the opportunities. Neglect, neglect. It's like kind of the it's like okay, like this kind of never there is a Buddha's kind of doesn't take responsibilities, and like this it's all the time as Buddha's enlightened activities like this. There's many examples, like a kind of even if you like someone's enlightened, like the names. For example, if you become enlightenment, if Buddha Shakyamuni or any kind of sentient beings enlightenment, this enlightened is like kind of even the someone's heard, someone's put the faith, devotions, and then they put the excellent seed, it's like unmistaken sealed into their mind stream about the enlightened seed they can to put. And there was one histories, like many merchandise, they went into the lake, and then suddenly there is some rubber, or maybe it's like a fish, or maybe some in the problems the boat, and they are sink into the water. That looks like die. There is each individual, they have like a different own source of refuges. Someone's take refuge in the rock, lake, a tree, and then of course many different. Then there is one compassionate to say, maybe let's take to the Buddha to take refuge. Then everybody to recite to take refuge. This hearing, it's that like this Buddha's sound, they heeded, but of course they died. But immediately they quoting this name of the hearing of the Buddhas, they reborn in the like kind of the 32 God realms. And therefore, even the someone's to hear the enlightened. For example, therefore, of course, we are like a kind of the pray to the Buddha, calling to the Buddha, recite the Buddha's mantra. And also it's like we are our own perspective, we all the times to pray the different enlightened like deities, like Buddha Amitabha, long life, Tara, Guru Rinpoche. Why we recite this? Because it's like whoever sentient beings hear these names, it's such a benefit. And therefore, for example, when you recite the deities, the mantras, maybe be in the many peoples, maybe when you arrive some high mountain through the windy way, you recite it, this winds take this your sound, whoever heard is such a benefit. Or maybe in the seaside, maybe in the river, like this, you need to loudly to call the Buddha's names. Maybe Amitabha's mentor, Buddha's mentor, Guru Rinpoche, Tara, so on. And also it's like sometimes our own individual also teachers, like we all the time, Woman Chokyi Inju put on the prayers. And for our perspective, it is the enlightened Buddha is our own teacher. Maybe some qualified already teacher, same as the Buddha, and whoever hear the names. And therefore we generally like enlightened it. For example, someone be enlightenment, any beings, you or any kind of, then it's like this is like someone's hear you liberation, touching liberation, like kind of the seeing liberation, or like this enlightened one is like become the whoever connected liberation to seed. And also it's like a good connections. This is most important, like a positive connection. Of course, it's in the Buddhacharya Avatar they said, even you can to connect to the negative way, but finally negative connection is also sometimes received. And the positive, absolutely, but it's very important positive connections. When we are like kind of taking refuge Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, of course we can maybe to talk later in the qualities, like kind of the precepts of this in the chapter, qualities of chapter. That times we can to also talking about how we need to respect. And like this, then it's like we are really to follow the Buddha's follow Buddha and enlightened ones, and 100% we kind of achieve like kind of the enlightenment, and absolutely to be free from the samsaras. And like therefore the enlightened activities all over the pervasively in the samsaras, lower realms, like this. That is like kind of a little bit we are studied about the Buddha's qualities. And also in the Uttaratenta, like kind of uncompounded and spontaneously, and also not realized to the others, something like this. There is like kind of the three qualities in the perspective of the Dharmakaya, three qualities of the perspective of the Rupakayas, and then it's like 8 qualities of the Buddhas. And yesterday we studied the Buddha's qualities of the physical, Buddha's qualities of the mentally, Buddha's qualities of the activities, and then is how it is the Buddha. Maybe may you think, Buddha Shakyamuni, maybe he's to follow the Buddha Shakyamuni, or maybe it's like this. This is not proclaims. It is just whoever to be enlightenment. This is, I'm talking about the enlightened qualities is like this. Of course, it's a Buddha Shakyamuni. It's also all these qualities has like this, and therefore it's like in the relative point, it is like kind of our pure source of the refuge is the Buddha Shakyamuni. That is the obvious. And of course, your own individual perspective, maybe the Buddha's representative of your like kind of your own maybe teacher, and it's also it's like a common general. Then this means it's like whoever be enlightenment. And this one is like has this kind of qualities. Very happily we need to contact. For example, even you are not your teacher. Maybe it's like not called the Buddha. Maybe this person's enlightened or compassionate, kind, really Dharma practitioners. Why we are connected to the Dharma practitioners? For example, ancient in Tibetans, really some Dharma practitioners, serious Dharma practitioners, they never concerning any worldly, determinedly, like kind of one-pointedly to practice Dharma. Then this one is like people so happy. They want to offer it to food, clothes. You don't need automatically. When they see this kind of person very, very happy, because of they know that this kind of qualities. This person is maybe like kind of the follower or the enlightenment. This person's like kind of the doing process of the enlightenment. Maybe it doesn't matter, maybe beginning, maybe it doesn't matter in the middle, maybe also almost at reaching enlightenment. And also it's like I myself, maybe it's like not yet, but maybe I can to connect it to there. Then therefore it's like try to connect. And like this, and any kind of practitioners beginning or any kind of to be in the path, bhumis, also people, why this kind of the connect to the Dharma practitioner? The reason is like this. And then maybe we can do next move and the second 3 jewels, maybe a little bit to talk, why not? Of course, you know so very well about the qualities of the Dharma. And Dharma is like a kind of the meaning of the Dharma, the essence of the Dharma, sublime Dharma. It is like to be the like kind of the how do you say, it's like can get rid of the obscurations, and also it's like kind of antidote for the negative emotions, and also it's like antidote for the conceptual obscurations, and also it's an antidote obscuration of the habitual tendencies. That is the meaning, like this kind of for the getting rid of them, and through the Dharma. Therefore, Dharma itself in the Uttara Tantra said, and also it's like Dharma is the free from the disturbing emotion or habitual tendency and obscurations. Also, Dharma itself is the antidote for the disturbing emotions. And also it's like when we say it's like we kind of the different perspective, particularly quoting the middle, like kind of lesser beings and the middle beings and the superior beings, and they have like a considerate and different perspective of the Dharma. Sometimes it's like they like a meaning of the Dharma. It is the Dharma of the transmission or Dharma of the path. Of course, most is like the Dharma of the like realization and also Dharma of the, like kind of the, whoever this Buddha and Bodhisattvas in the mind, there's like a kind of the, how do we say, it's like there is such a kind of the antidote for the negatives, and that is like kind of the more the real dharma is like this, getting rid of the refer to the truth of the path, and like this sort of, there's many different, but anyway it is like, if you dharma is divided like two, and dharma of the transmission, dharma of the kind of the realization, dharma of the transmission, and dharma of the realization. Why you call the dharma of the transmission? Because it is like a dharma of the transmission is like kind of the like a kind of the contain and consist inside all the meaning of the dharma. And for example, like when we make the tea, and the teapot itself, the dharma of the transformation, the tea itself is the realization of the dharma of the realization. And like this, it's like according the teapot, we received like kind of the tea. And then it's like we can to say the dharma of the transformations, they're divided. Of course, there is like a very large way, very short way, very, very too short, very, very, very too short way. It is like a kind of the dharma of the transformation to be like kind of the larger way, 84,000 teachings. This is like kind of this 84,000 element teaching of the dharmas. Maybe these days we say it's like this 108 volumes, but this is not really everything not included. Generally, it's 84,000 teachings. It says that like there is a very, very special elephant, elephant. It can carry maybe many tanks, many like kind of, how do you say, it's like a tank or one tank, car, truck, how many tongue, or I don't know, tank, this like kilos, like probably 20-30 tongue, yes, one trucks. And like this kind of this maybe elephants almost like carries the big trucks. And this kind of elephants, 5 elephants can carry the 84,000 teachings. He taught this sort of the teachings. It's inconceivable. But of course, at the moment, we have presently, there is like, there is a true kind of the, of course, 84,000. There's, we call the Ganjur. And there is like the Buddha Mahili Tulokon is like the university's collections, and Nalanda University's like the collections. Nalanda University's collection, this 84,000 teaching, I mean, Ganjur is like more in the Sanskrit language, but that one is like later in the Shantarachita, someone's found and translated into the Tibetan language, and some part is also we couldn't got in China. It's translated because it's China is the Mahayanas Buddhist. Otherwise, it's like almost lost in India because it's Nalanda University destroyed some Turticas. At that time, they burned library and lost. Then after some Pantitasas, of course, maybe the memories problems. And but then it's like in Tibet, like they found it a lot, maybe brought, and also that the Shantarakshita, Bamalamata, Berutanas, and they translated all, like there's a, like kind of the 25 Lotsavas, and they translated into the Tibet language. The Sanskrit tradition of the Buddhas, the 84,000 element teaching of the Buddhas we have in Tibet. and the sounds, the Pali language, I think is the Shavaka Nitin Devase, and their collection is like from India to Sri Lanka, then Burma, Thailand, and this collection is still in the Pali case. We have maybe there are a little bit, maybe sometimes, but most times same. This is very large. Of course, 84,000 we have representative. Like in Tibet, we have like 108 volumes. This is like we call the 84,000 teachings, but and one is Buddha's passed away. His teachings, most teachings like took the different Nanga, like kind of the, and many different beings they took. And also this one we can to say is like in the Nyingma traditions you resume, and 12 branches of the excellent speech, and then is you can to make the more kind of the condense to like a kind of short way. There is the 3 Pitakas, that is we often to say, like Vinayana Pitakas, Sutayana Pitakas, and the Dharma, them Abhidharmayana Pitakas. This is like kind of the like too short, like longer, or like this is like we say it's like the Dharma of the transmissions. And then it's like the that is the, of course, the Dharma of the more kind of the transmission. Sometimes you can to say the, how to say is the Dharma of the transmissions. It is like a kind of the only the existence into the mind of the members of the Sangha, maybe Pachika Buddha, Shavaka Buddha, and the Bodhisattvas in the only the mind, and therefore it is like a kind of the transmitting, like a kind of the Dharma, you can to say use like this, and this is in the Sutta perspective. Then it's like a realization of the Dharma means, then it's like one is in the mind. When they take the transformation Dharma on the path, this is called the Dharma of the path. And then they are like the meaning to practice inside. Inside, like kind of the, like this meaning is become the antidote, sensation of the disturbing emotions. And then the part of the sensation, because the like a destroyer or the like scatter of the disturbing emotions, eradicator of the disturbing emotions. This part realization is the, you can choose the realization of the Dharma. It's like this. And then it's like, of course, there is also explained that in the Secret Mantrayanas, or the like kind of authentic way to say is like sometimes Dharma of the like kind of written down in the symbolic. There's a different symbolic. One symbolic like written down, one symbolic appear, one symbolic kind of the voice. And there's like kind of the 3 different symbolic, like kind of the Dharma of the transmission, maybe we can to say like this. And then it's like the symbolic Dharma of the written, this one is like kind of the book, and how to say, all the Buddha's like teachings to see the like kind of the on the paper like this. And then it's like the symbolic Dharma of the appear. It is like kind of the Dharma of the transmission, what is ever is a Dharma existence into the like kind of the mind of the Sanghas. And it's like this. And then is the symbolic Dharma of the voice. and that is like a kind of the how do you say, it's like a kind of a very special way. It is like a voice, and we can to say and the voice someone is to say says do not to kill to the sentient beings, do not kind of the stolen, like 10 negative your actions like a stop, you know? This is like kind of the voice and the symbol dharma voice symbolic way. And then this like kind of the word, okay, to stop and doing the 10 negative actions, and then this voice going into inside, and this outside you when you hear the is 10 negative actions, 10 negative action you should to stop, 10 positive action is you should to adopt. It is necessary. First is a sound, is a symbolic is coming, and then this sound voice is go to into the mind, but this sound is like the dharma of the transmissions, and then this sound is go to inside this meaning, that is the negative, I don't want, I want to abandon, that is positive, I want to practice. Then inside you struggling is that is the dharma of the realizations, you can to say. And to easy say is like this. Then it's like in the dharma it's like principally you can to say it's like, and the dharma of the transmissions as we say is like to release the three tipitakas, and inside talking about the discipline and how you can to apply the beginning, in the middle, the end, and also it's like the defects of the samsara, negative, and also the qualities of the nirvana, enlightenment, everything they're talking, and also in order to purify is the negative defects and free from the samsaras. And there's a kind of the discipline. This discipline is bring to us to the peace in the nirvana. Then you can to say dharma of the transmission of the tipitakas. It is a vinayana, sutayana, abhidhamayanas. But this is like according to this dharma of the transmissions, and then inside you have the training process, like a kind of the discipline. As I said, it's like you stop, like doing. And second is like you are meditating. Two different is like meditations, or like kind of the dharma of the sutayana said, it's like you meditate like this, you calm mind, then you follow and you are mind exercises. This is the training, the realization of the dharma of the samanda, according to the sutayanas. And of course then there the wisdom is like more wisdom aspect to understand natural realities, and this is like a training wisdoms. Therefore, and three tipitakas and three training process. This is like both like kind of the dharma of transmission, dharma of the realizations, and it is like this. And therefore, it's like dharma of the realization, like a kind of the consist the path of the precious superior threefold training. Threefold training means it's like each according to each individual tripitakas. Then there's a training process, training of the discipline, training of the like kind of samadhi, wisdom, is like this. And then it's like according the different perspective. Maybe it is quite nice. This three tipitakas, it's like a kind of the related to the lesser vehicles, middle vehicles, and like superiors like beings. Maybe according the kind of the vehicles, maybe these three tipitakas, the Hinayana's perspective, and also these three tipitakas like the Mahayana's perspective, and also these three tipitakas is like the Vajrayana's perspective. How it is like kind of the works, these three Tripitakas. Tripitakas is like Tripitakas itself is the this three Tripitakas comes from the Buddha, but Buddha he taught and different three, like you call the like Vinayana, Sutayana, Abhidhammayana, but the receivers to receive the different way, and then you can to say the, like the lesser three Tripitaka, and like middlings like kind of Tripitaka, and the higher grade Tripitakas. Then otherwise, it's like Buddha's his perspective is just like kind of included this Tripitakas, and but it's like receivers then received different ways. There is an example of like, for example, there's a very special salt, one like a salt. Salt itself is a sharp, priceless, wonderful, but who carries? Maybe very carwood persons using this carwood salt. Maybe some in the Middle East persons use is a sort of powerful or Middle East person. Maybe very brave, hard like persons using. Oh, this is like salt. But salt itself is there's no deviation, no different. But this user itself has kind of the then different. Then it's a salt itself also is kind of the coming the different like this. And therefore, it's maybe okay. Maybe we can stop there is, yeah. And they need a coffee, tea. I think looks like okay. 15 or how much? Yeah, 15 minutes. Stop la lasso. Coffee.